My name is Nicola Osborne, and I'm going to talk to you about the Managing Your Digital Footprint campaign at the University of Edinburgh. Now, the idea came about when my colleague Louise was sitting on the bus. She was thinking about the different types of social media and digital identity training that she was being asked to provide, but also issues and concerns being raised by colleagues across the university and other bits of training she knew were taking place. And she thought, wouldn't it be brilliant to have one focal point for this work, bringing it together and sharing experience? She came up with the idea of a campaign that would target all of the students across the university, undergraduate through to PhD level students, whether they were on campus or online, and to get a better picture of how they perceive their digital footprint, to what extent they hold the skills necessary to manage their digital identities, and also where we would fit into that, so what kind of support, guidance and information they might need from us. So this would also allow us to formalise and bring some coherence and consistency to the kind of training and support on offer across the university. We also wanted to use that as a way of furthering our understanding of what the students were doing. This would help us provide some evidence-based guidance and best practice for use within the university and the wider sector. So it's about understanding students' needs, but also reflecting those in the services we provide and the advice that we give. So what is a digital footprint? You can see from this still from a video we created to promote the project, it's personal information, your social media profiles, it's information you leave when you go online, touching on things like privacy and security settings, but also what you say about other people and what they say about you, so relevant to cyberbullying and how there are implications to the kind of information that we share. So the problem being solved here was both about improving student awareness and their critical engagement with their digital footprint, but also to offer some best practice advice around kind of ethical and appropriate uses of social media and online spaces as a positive space. We wanted to make sure there was a clear focal point for guidance and support, addressing some of those inconsistencies of provision in the past. We also wanted to acknowledge that different schools and departments might have different priorities depending on the kind of professional bodies' expectations that went with the programmes they run. But we knew that there were a lot of core concepts that would be common across the whole of the university. So the campaign was managed by the Institute for Academic Development, and they really brought together this hugely collaborative project across the university. It brought together academic departments as well as support services, and some of our key campaign partners included the Careers Service, Information Services and the Students' Association. We actually had a student working on the project as well who was fantastic. So it was truly collaborative, and that was crucial because we had over 32,000 students to reach out to. We really needed this message to be reinforced in lots of different places. In parallel to the campaign, we also had a simultaneous research project that helped to inform what we were doing throughout the year that the campaign initially ran, but it's also now feeding into the continuous service improvement as the digital footprint campaign has actually become a mainstream service within the University of Edinburgh because of its success in that first year. And we've also been looking at how this research can feed into teaching and learning practice. So the approach we took and the kind of components that made up this campaign were two surveys. The first one ran in autumn 2014. This was sent to over a third of the student population at the University of Edinburgh, and we had a good response rate to that. This asked questions about the kind of tools students were using, how they were using them, behaviours good and bad, and they were encountering in these spaces. In spring 2015, we asked some follow-up questions and also used data to benchmark against the original survey so that we could get an idea if anything had changed through our activities. We ran over 32 workshops reaching over 1,000 students. Those were based within schools and departments. We also had pop-up sessions, we ran competitions, and we also had social media presences showing key messages from the campaign, a whole range of activities taking place throughout the campaign. We also did some work on social media guidance and e-professionalism, and that's feeding both into student practice but also into learning and teaching. So the challenges here obviously were significantly about the scale and diversity of our community, a huge quantity of students with very different backgrounds, many international students, and we were trying to disseminate both benefits and risks of social media at the same time, which meant bringing some of the more cautious people to feel more confident with these spaces, but also encouraging people who are slightly more gung-ho to sort of pause and reflect on what they were doing. So that was an interesting challenge to do at the same time. And we think there were real benefits to the campaign. We had really excellent feedback from students and staff, and you can see some quotes here from our students who'd been reflecting on their digital presences, and I think just the process of asking them to think about what they do online was beneficial for a number of the students. So in terms of lessons for the wider UCISA community, we really think there are huge benefits to having research-informed support. It's based not on our assumptions of what student needs are, but on what they actually are, what they're actually doing and what spaces they're using at the moment. We think a hugely collaborative approach for this project was one of the main reasons for its success. It really maximised the impact of the campaign, and it provided whole new opportunities, both interesting collaborations with colleagues across the university, but also providing true consistency in what we're offering. So in terms of our ongoing and future plans, the service is now mainstream and being delivered by IAD. We have a number of resources including student handbook guidance and an e-professionalism guide. We also have an external facing consultancy service being piloted shortly by Edina. So you can find out lots more on the website, and thank you very much. We hope you find this a really interesting project, and we would encourage you to go and have a look at the website to find out more about what we've done in this very busy, exciting and ambitious project.